Need I ride?
No, I don't think I will.
Sure. Just quit being a cunt.
That's not the first thing I thought you'd take off.
The age of men is over.
You serious?
Hi, welcome back to the channel. Itepwakuian here with you. Today we're going to cover an article that dropped about 4 days ago on Bounding into Comics, but I didn't have a chance to cover it yet, and I really wanted to touch on this. James Bond franchise producers say future films will further explore super spy's emotional side. Bond is evolving, just as men are evolving. Now, don't get me wrong, character evolution is key to keeping people interested in your character, your story, your franchise, because without character development and growth, it gets stagnant, it gets stale. Nobody wants to watch the same redundancies over and over, unless there's so many compelling things that are happening on the exterior and around that character. But you still have to have a compelling main character. So evolution is key, but the way that they're talking about evolving this character is much to the detriment, and it's a complete 180 from what the character has been previously. Now, yes, James Bond is a womanizing super spy who kills people, but the character of James Bond also serves a bigger purpose and a greater narrative, and it's supposed to be escapist entertainment. Yes, is it set in a world that is real and somewhat grounded in reality based on, some different movies that have come out over the years with the different, James Bond actors. But this, at the end of the day, was supposed to be escapist entertainment. Now you're taking the masculinity out of this character, and we'll talk about that throughout this article. According to the half-sibling production team currently at the helm of the James Bond franchise, the focus placed on the iconic British super spy's more emotional and vulnerable sides in his last outing, No Time to Die, was less a one-off look into a seldom-seen aspect of the character and more of a preview of the franchise's future to come. Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson, who have served as the overseers of the cinematic incarnation of Ian Fleming's fictional MI6 agent ever since their shared father and co-founding franchise producer Albert R. Cubby Broccoli passed away in 1996, spoke to their vision for Bond's future during a recent interview with Variety. Asked by the entertainment trade news outlet if they had yet to make any progress in finding Daniel Craig's successor for the franchise's eponymous role, the pair began briefly by touching upon the potential casting of Idris Elba, noting that while they loved the Hobbs and Shaw star as an actor, they understood that accepting the job was a daunting commitment for any actor. Idris Elba may be perfect for the role as James Bond in the eyes of some, but you really have to look at the actor's age. He's 50 years old, born in 1972, and I'm not saying he's too old for the role, but if they're looking for a decade or better commitment out of an actor, then Idris Elba might not be the right pick. If you look at Daniel Craig's James Bond history, Casino Royale came out in 2006, Quantum of Solace 2008, Skyfall 2012, Spectre 2015, and No Time to Die 2021, which it would have come out sooner had it not been for the pandemic. But we're still talking about a 13-year span if it came out in 2019. Add 2 to that, we've got a 15-year span of Daniel Craig as James Bond. Do you think a 50-year-old actor, Idris Elba, wants to sign on for a 15-year commitment at, what is basically the height and, downhill slide of his career? The thing is, it's going to be a couple years off, Broccoli said, and when we do cast Bond, it's a 10 to 12 year commitment. So he's probably thinking, do I really want that thing? Not everybody wants to do that. It was hard enough to get Daniel Craig to do it. And that's the fact that I just alluded to. The length of time, the commitment that this role takes on is better than a decade. And for an actor who's already past the age of 40, that's a rather, as they stated, a daunting task. Alluding back to the lengthy commitment of time that Daniel Craig made to the role, Wilson said, and he was in his early 30s at the time. The brother and sister duo then admitted that not only does the process of rolling out a new Bond require a phenomenal level of dedication from which every actor is lucky enough to land the role, but that it's also a big investment for us too, as it's not just about casting an actor for a film, it's about a reinvention. We have to ask ourselves, where are we taking it, explained Broccoli. What do we want to do with the character? And then, once we figure that out, who's the right person for that particular reinvention? However, it seems this next incarnation of Bond will be far from a complete reinvention of the character, as Variety writes that Broccoli confirmed that the humanizing of the once womanizing spy and the ensuring of more fulfilling, meatier roles for the female stars of the franchise, done during her and her brother's handling of the franchise, will continue in the next films. It's an evolution, asserted Broccoli, who in addition to serving as James Bond producer is also the current director of the UK chapter of Time's Up, which I take it is their chapter of Me Too. Bond is evolving just as men are evolving. I don't know who's evolving at a faster pace. Craig cracked open Bond emotionally, she said. The films over his tenure were the first time we really connected to the emotional arc.
Oh my God, who the hell cares?
So with all that being said, one is left to ponder the question, where are they really going to take this character? Are they truly going to take Sir Ian Fleming's work and turn it into just another modern franchise with a female lead or a male lead that is automatically and ultimately either submissive to, subservient, or less than his more powerful, more competent, more intelligent female counterpart? You know, are we going to see James Bond go against a female villain, not be able to pull out, you know, his usual W, and then the woman has to come in and save him? Are we going to see a female James Bond? That is a $1 million question, and I don't have an answer, but what I do have is this piece of, you know, I guess you would call it conventional wisdom, would say, if you want a female spy movie, why don't you just make a new franchise? You know, dressing up a new character as a beloved favorite while changing everything that fundamentally makes that character great is not the same thing as the continuation of a story.
That is a cunt move.
It's cultural Marxism, and I hate to beat this drum, but it absolutely is cultural Marxism. It's deconstruction, and that's what they're doing to James Bond ultimately, is tearing down the past, building up this hollow shell of what they want this franchise to be.
Don't ask questions. Just consume product and then get excited for next products.
And be the masculinity toxic or not, it's a product of its time. So you don't necessarily have to have all the same tropes, but you still want to honor who the character is and what they represent, and not just bastardize it for the sake of contemporary modern identity politics. But those are just my thoughts on the subject. Like I said, I'm not a huge Bond aficionado, but I've seen enough franchises get ruined in the last 8-9 years that it really makes me nauseous to see another one falling by the wayside, or in the process of falling by the wayside, by radical feminism, intersectionalism, you know, as I stated in the last passage, modern identity politics, contemporary politics that won't last, because these things are very cyclical when it comes to these garbage tier ideologies that get pushed on us. But that's the thing. We as fans, we as customers, consumers, have to fight back. We have to push back. We have to make our voices heard with our wallets and as well as our words. And we have to choose those words carefully, because when you're stepping onto a battlefield, you don't want to come to a battle of wits unarmed like the other side does 99.99% of the time. But that's it. That's all I got for you today, folks. What do you think? Are you James Bond fans? Are you nervous about the future of this franchise moving forward? The character of James Bond? Do you think we're going to see Jane Bond? I really hope not. Or, do you think Idris Elba is going to take the role even at the age of 50? Do you think he would step up and play this role? Now it's your turn to opine. Please leave your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know everything you have to say on this issue. Also, if you're not yet, please let today be the day you subscribe to the channel. Ding the bell for notifications if you are so inclined. You may also join if you want. There is 2 tiers. The Kazooian tier, $2.99 a month. Harvey Wakuian producer tier, $4.99 a month. All the perks are available on the main page to the channel. I'm Etep Wakuian of The Place to Be Reviews. I've been here with all the yous. If I don't see you, have a great day, a pleasant tomorrow, and I'll catch you on the next one.
It's better to burn out than to fade away.
I could do this all